Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today we are going to learn about the material costing, that is the FIFO method. And the full meaning of FIFO method is the first method of material costing. This means that the stock which is brought into the business or a company first is issued first when times for need arises. For example, a company, let's say for example a company XYZ Limited received a quantity as per 1st January, and the quantity received was 20 units at a price of 10 per unit. On 5th January, they received 40 units at 5 per unit into the warehouse. So within this company, the production department needs 30 units for production from the store, from the warehouse. So the stock that was brought into the warehouse, the production department needs some of the quantity to facilitate its production of the various products from that company. So the issuance of these units within the warehouse will be as followed. So under the FIFO method, they only consider the stock that is received first is the one that must be issued first. Until the quantity that was received first is depleted is when they will go to the second quantity that was received during the issuance. So for example, we are being told that the company received 20 units. The company received 20 units at a price of 10 per unit. And the production department needs 30 units for production from the store. So under the issuance, because the production department needs 30 units for the production from the store, they will first issue the 20 units that was received as per the 1st January at a price of 10. So that means that the first quantity that will be received by the production department will be the 20 units that was received first. Then that means there is a deficit of 10 units that is supposed to be issued to the production department again. So these 10 units, they are going to extract them from the 40 units that was received on 5th January. On 5th January, they received 40 units. So the remaining 10 units, after the releasement of these 20 units that was received on 1st January, the other 10 units will be taken from the stock that was received on 5th January. So, and that simply explains the meaning of FIFO method of material costing. So the stock that was received first is the one that is released first. So under FIFO method, we say we consider the issuance of materials in the order of which they are purchased or in the order in which they are received into the business. So after all this, we are going to consider an working or an example here that will help us to understand the FIFO method into details. So the second question, or the first question that we are going to consider under this FIFO method is as per the following question. So we are being told that from the following information, prepare stores ledger account under the FIFO method. So this one we must take keen consideration or keen note about it. We are being told that it is only the FIFO method, not any other method. So we are being told that as per the February 1st, 2020, they received 200 units at 5.50 cents per unit. On February 2nd, they received 300 units at 10 per unit. And February 10th, there was an issuance of 400 units. Then February 20th, they received 400 units at 7 per unit. February 24th, they issued 300 units. Then February 26th, they received 500 units at 5 per unit. Then on February 28th, they received 200 units. So we are going to prepare our FIFO ledger account as per shown below. So the column that you are going to prepare is the column for the receipts, the column for the receipts, the column for the issuance, and the column for the balance. So let's consider the first statement. That is on February 1st, there was a reception of 200 units at 5 shillings and 50 cents. So this one, it was a receipt. So we are going to put it under the receipt column. And that means there was reception of 200 units. That is the quantity. Okay, before you go into that, under the receipts, issuance, and balance, we must have the date for the receipt or the date for the issuance. Then you have the quantity, we have the price and the amount. Then under the issuance, we must have the quantity that was issued, this price and amount. Then on the balance, you also have the quantity, price and amount. So let's consider the first statement, that we are being told that there was a reception of 200 units at 5.50 per unit. So under the reception column, the quantity that was received is 200 units. We put it under that column of quantity. Then the price for the quantity was 50.50 cents. So if we take this 200, we multiply by this 5.50 cents, you're going to get 1,100. Let's take a look at it by doing the calculation. So there we are going to take, it will be 200 units. It will be 200 units times 5.50. Then we multiply by the, after that one is what you're going to multiply, then we get the total amount, which will be 1,100. So we put it under the column of the amount. Then we move to the, before we move to the second example, we must take a look at the question first. If at all there was any opening stock that the business was having before any reception, then the opening stock must always be put under the balance column. So you just come and put it under the balance column as the opening stock before entering any detail of reception or issuance. So we are going to move to the second example, and that is on the February 2nd. We are being told that by February 2nd, they received 300 units at 10 per unit. So whenever there is any reception, we first move to the balance column and consider the amount that was there before the reception. So we draw a line under those entities. Then after drawing a line, we bring the values of the balance below that line before recording the second reception or the second receipt of the stock. So here we are going to, after drawing the line and bring the amount of the balance below the line, we move to the second reception. So on February 2nd, we are being told that they received 300 units at 10 per unit. So this one, we are going to record it under the receipt column, and we are going to say on February 2nd, there was a reception of 300 units at 10 per unit. So we take 300 units. We're going to take 300 units. Sorry. We're going to take 300 units times 10. Sorry. And there we are going to get, it will be 3,000. So the 3,000 is the amount that will be recorded under the receipt. Then immediately after that, whenever there is any reception, we must always bring it to the balance column. So we're going to record the amount of the reception just below the first reception. So it will be 300 units at 10 per unit. That is a total of 3,000. Then on February 10th, we are told that there was an issuance. So this one, there was an issuance of 400 units. There was an issuance of 400 units. There was an issuance of 400 units, of which these 400 units were issued on February 10th. So this one, we are going to record it under the column for the issuance. And this one, we must put keen consideration or keen notice about this one. So we are being told that there were 400 units that were issued. So these 400 units, the issuance will be as per the order, that is the first in, first out method. So the stock that was received first, which was 200 units at this price, will be the one that will be issued first. So we are going to take the first issuance. There were 400 units, but the first issuance will be based on the first stock that was received, and that one will be 200 units that was received at this price, and the total amount now will be 1,100. So that means the first issuance is now over. It's depleted. There is nothing remaining on it. So we come and draw a line below this one to show that the first issuance has been done with, or the first receipt of the quantity has already been issued. So the second issuance, because they issued 400 units, and the first in first out method made sure that the first stock that was received is released or is issued all. So there's another 200 units remaining to be issued. So these 200 units will be extracted from the second reception, which was 300 units. It was 300 units at 10 per unit. So we are going to take the 200 remaining unit times 10, then we get it will be 2,000. So this 2,000 is now the amount that is issued. And if we add this one and this one, we get that is 400 units that has already been issued. So this second 200 is extracted from the second reception, which was 300 units at 10 per unit. So if we look at the remaining out of this 300, there will be 100 units remaining, which will be valued at 10 per unit, and the total will be 1,000. So that one we are done with for the first issuance, which was on February 10th. The 400 units were issued, so we are already done with them. So on February 20th, we are being told that there was a reception of 400 units at 7 per unit. So under this method, whenever there is any reception, what we do immediately is to come and draw a line under the balance column, then bring the balance that is remaining below the line before recording the second, or before recording any reception. So we are being told that on February 20th, they receive 400 units at 7 per unit. So under the reception column, we are going to record 400 units. We are going to record 400 units. We're going to record 400 units which was received. This one, 400 units. So it will be 400 units times 7. So the 7 was the price per unit, that is 2,800. So after recording that one, any receipt after the recording on the receipt column must always be taken to the balance column. So we're going to take these 400 units. The price is 7 per unit, that is 2,800. So that one we are done with. Then after that, we move to February 24th. And on February 24th, we are being told that there was an issuance of 300 units. So these 300 units that was issued will be issued based on the first in, first out method, stock method. So the stock that was remaining, or the stock that was received first, will be the 100 units that remain after the extraction there. So these 100 units must be issued first before this 400, the 400 that was received on February 20th is taken, or maybe a certain amount is extracted from the 400 units. So the first amount that will be issued under the 300 units will be the 100 that was remaining, of which will be 100. It was 100 units at 10, and it will be 1,000. So if we take a look at the 300 units, already 100 units has been issued. That means that the production department still needs another 200 units in order for it to complete its production, as they needed 300 units for their production. So under this one, we are going to, after the issuance of the 100 units, there's another 200 units that is remaining. So these 200 units will be extracted. The 200 units will be extracted from these 400 units that was issued, or that was received on 400, that was received on February 20th. So this one, so the remaining 200 will be extracted from the 400 units, and it will be valued at 7 per unit, and the amount will be 1,400. So after the issuing of the 200 units, the remaining units out of this 400 will be 200 units. Then we record the balance here. 200 units at 7 per unit, the total amount is 1,400. Okay, that one we are done about the second issuance of the 300 units. And now we move to February 26th. And on February 26th, we are told that there was a reception of 500 units at 5 per unit. So whenever there is any reception, what we do immediately is to come and draw a line under the balance column. Then after drawing the line, we record the amount in the balance column below that line. So as we've done here, we come and record that remaining amount under the balance column. So the remaining amount will be 200 units valued at 7 per unit, that is 1,400. Then we are told that on February 26th, there was a reception of 500 units at 5 per unit. So we record it under the receipt column. So it will be 500 units at 5, and the total amount will be 2,500. You take this one, 500 times 5, that is 2,500. So this 2,500, after recording it under the reception column, we come and record it below. We come and record it onto the balance column again, and below the last stock that was remaining. So we come and record it 500 units valued at 5 per unit, that is a total of 2,500. So after that, then we move to the last statement, or the last activity that happened during this month of February. So we are told that on February 28th, there was an issuance of 200 units. So this one, the 200 units were issued. These 200 units were issued on February 28th. And that is, we come under the issuance column on February 28th. Then we record the 200 units that were issued. And they were issued at 7 per unit. So that one is 1,400. Under this one, we are going to first consider the first stock that was remaining before the other reception. This one was the last stock that was received, and this one was the first one, the remaining amount after the extraction. So we are going to consider the release of the first 200 units at 7 per unit, that is 1,400. Under that column, there is nothing that remains because the 200 units have all been issued. So the remaining units are 500 units that was received on the last day, that is on February 26th, are valued at 5 per unit, that is 2,500 if you multiply that one total. So under this one, if at all we consider now the closing stock, as per this month of February, the closing stock will be 500 units at 5, valued at 5 per unit, and the total amount will be 2,500. So under this month of February, we are done on the recording of the various transactions that took place. And only a slight notice, or maybe a notice to consider, is that if there is an opening stock, then we copy directly to the balance column as we had said first. Then whenever there is a receipt, you take the value on the balance column and draw a line below it immediately. So that is all for this particular video, and I'm so grateful, guys, for considering this. I believe you learned something. So if you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe for more. Our next video will be on the last in, first out. That is the FIFO method of material costing. Thank you, guys.